say roll call.
Crystal? Yes, sir.
Here, read the name.
Mayor Campos.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem David Trujillo.
Here.
Commissioner Gandy.
Here.
Commissioner Butcher.
Here.
Commissioner Sanchez.
Here.
All right. Commissioner Trujillo, would you lead us in the pledge?
Yes, please. Please bow your head. Lord, I want to thank you for this evening, for all of us gathered this evening to make decisions in the best interest of our community. I want to thank you so much for allowing us to make the right choices a couple of years back, and we foresee just in case we had a downturn. I know we're still at that point where we're still trying to fine-tune everything. I pray that you continue to guide us and help us and continue to move forward and ensuring that employees as well as our community stay strong as we get through this small crisis. Thank you very much. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Go ahead and do the Zia. I got to use my hands. Okay. I salute the flag
The state of New Mexico, the sea symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures.
Thank you.
We'll get it right.
I'll get him a cheat sheet for the prayer too.
Everybody was looking off my page.
I had it. All right. I'll entertain a motion for approval of the agenda.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
I'll second that.
We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I'll consider a motion for the consideration of regular meeting minutes of July 11th, 2016.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Commissioners and staff report.
I'm fine, no problem.
All right. Commissioner Bernard.
I don't have anything at this time.
Very good. Okay. All right. Nothing to report. I don't have anything to report. Commissioner Trujillo.
No, sir, thank you.
Commissioner Gandy.
James.
Sir.
I know it's silly, but since we seem to struggle with this Lovington, we post it maybe that everybody could read it. Sure. Sounds silly, but it would help a few of us.
We'll have a work session coming up.
Other than that, I'm good. Thank you, sir.
Okay, very good. All right. Gary.
Mayor and Commission, I have nothing new to report right now.
All right. Ms. Bell?
No.
Or Ball, sorry?
No.
Okay. All right. Chief?
Just to give you an update on that blood drive we had last week, we ended up with 36 total units for Lovington, 18 and 18 both tied for the fire department. Out of total that they had in southeast New Mexico, which included Carlsbad, Hobbs, us, Roswell, and Clovis, that had a little over 200 units last week donated.
Very good. Thank you for doing that.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate it. So it was a toss-up, huh?
Yep.
Couldn't call nobody at the last minute, huh?
No, they were busy.
Okay, very good. James?
Mayor Commissioners, we have just an update on the lightning sensor. The engineers are still working on it. However, we are working on getting a point-to-point connection where the software on the splash pad can be hooked up to the network. That way, in the event of inclement weather, our staff could actually shut the system down wirelessly.
Very good. I appreciate that. James, anything else? Patrick?
No.
Nothing to report. All right, very good. Thank you. All right. We'll go into the non-action items. Discussion of city auxiliary agency funding benefits and agreements. James?
Mayor Commissioners, after last commission meeting, Commissioner Trujillo had asked us to gather information on benefits and written agreements that we may have in place with some of our auxiliary agencies over at the Chamber of Commerce. We first of all looked at, there was a question of benefits. In order to offer benefits, right now, city benefits, we offer an 85% payment towards the Chamber of Commerce building. It would cost an additional $35,670. In addition to that, we do offer retirement. It's PERA. You have to be a full-time city employee. There's a 7% match. I'm just doing some calculations off of different budget information that I've been provided. It would cost the city an extra $12,000. So when we look at adding these individuals as city employees, first of all, we would have to take into account the salaries, how we got that number, just looking at the budgets with the salary line items that we had. With insurance, pension, and of course, FICA contribution to be $233,000 annually in order to bring those individuals on board. So when we look at this from a city standpoint, some of the concerns we have, one is the financial aspects. The city simply can't afford that right now. To meet our minimum reserve requirements that we set by policy, this would definitely put us over that threshold, even taking into account some of the reduction in funding we could do to offset that. It wouldn't be very much. Some of our MOUs and ordinances specify that we have to provide funding at a certain amount. Also, we've frozen 5 positions, and every city employee, we've had our salaries frozen for the past 2 years. We haven't had any COLAs or merit increases. In addition to that, our city code, it requires that prior to getting benefits, you have to actually be a full-time city employee. And discussing this issue with Gary, to add them on as an employee, they would actually become a component unit of the city. Where in this particular case, if we just simply added them benefits, we would have 3 additional component units. And that creates extra audit work, and we would also have to, it would put more work on finance because all of their financial transactions would have to go through the city at that point. Excuse me. Some other concerns, what about our boards? Right now we have the boards that make up the EDC, the Chamber, and Main Street. They provide direction to those executive directors over there, and if they became city employees, there really wouldn't be the necessary or the necessity to have a board of directors per se. At the same time, that affects those organizations' ability because a lot of their volunteers actually come from the board members themselves. So it could actually impact those individual programs. And also, especially when we're dealing with our EDC, the way that EDC set up is that they're their own private entity. They do receive city funding. However, whenever you're dealing with different businesses who you're either recruiting or expressing an interest in Lovington, if they were reporting to a city employee, they would actually lose that confidentiality that they would have as far as sharing proprietary knowledge, financial documents, and it would actually make it more difficult to recruit different business and industry to Lovington. So looking at the agreements and what we provide each agency, the Chamber of Commerce, we provide them a total of $47,000 a year. We do a $35,000 general fund appropriation, and then we have allocated $12,000 from lodger's tax. There are no agreements in place with our chamber. So what I've asked each entity to do is to answer one of the questions: what exactly are we paying for? They've each provided me with a scope of work, which you can look with our Chamber of Commerce. They're doing their mobile app, which is a great media as far as getting the word out about different city events that are even outside the chamber. They operate our visitor center. They're an information point. When we have a lot of visitor contacts, they stop by the chamber to get maps, find about employment opportunities, different services that are available, housing, you name it. They stay fairly busy over there answering those questions. They also maintain our facilities over there as far as scheduling the rentals for the Troy Harris facility. They help coordinate the maintenance of that facility as well. They provide different quality of life activities. For instance, the Party in the Park, our arts and crafts show, the barrel race that Raylan has coordinated over the past couple of years, which is very successful. We also have meetings, business development seminars. So that is what we actually pay our Chamber of Commerce to do. When we look at Lovington Main Street, we provide them a total of $50,000. We have a MOU with the state of New Mexico Main Street, which based on our population, we have to provide a minimum of $35,000. New Mexico Main Street even says that's simply not enough to run a successful Main Street program. We actually provided an additional $15,000 through the general fund. We do have an MOU with the state of New Mexico, but I asked Mrs. Lawson to provide me with that scope of work, which they work on amending and updating our master plan. They coordinate community events that are designed to draw citizens and residents to the downtown area to help promote those businesses and improve our quality of life. They assist with different campaigns to market the downtown area. They have a facade improvement program where they work with those. Now, their efforts are focused in that downtown district. And I know Tabitha and I had discussed, well, do you expand that? What do you do? But these are the different things that our Main Street program provides for us. They also are state accredited, and they're also one of the few nationally accredited in the state that we actually have as far as the Main Street program. I did ask New Mexico Main Street as far as, well, do you have, that was one of our questions was, are any Main Street directors city employees? There's only one out of all of the Main Street programs in the state that actually has a city employee, and it's a different type of setup. We also have our EDC, of course. This is covered through the Economic Development Act. I believe it was Ordinance 495. It specifies that this is the funding level, but also that our Lovington Economic Development Corporation is responsible for this scope of work, assisting businesses and industry furthering the economic development plans and projects, recruitment of businesses, development of these business plans, also review and make recommendations for any businesses seeking assistance from the city through the LEGA fund. The way that situation works is a business actually applies to the Economic Development Corporation for access to those LEGA funds. They have a due diligence committee that reviews it. They make recommendations to their full board, and then that board actually passes those recommendations along to the city commission. One other auxiliary agency that we have, it's kind of a mixture. We actually have the Lee County Museum. We actually provide one employee, and how that came to be I do not know, but actually the Rosa, she is actually a city employee. We pay her salary, we pay her benefits. We also pay for the utilities and maintenance of that facility. There is a $20,000 allocation for professional services, which I believe it's going to stipend, which I believe helps to go support Jim's work down there. But we don't have an agreement in place for that $20,000 either. So one thing, it probably would be to our benefit to have professional service agreements with all of these entities. That way we know exactly this is what we are paying them for. I believe even Lovington Main Street, whenever I was talking just with Mrs. Lawson, New Mexico Main Street recommended that even though we have this MOU, it's still probably, it's highly recommended that we have agreements in place between the local Main Street organization and the municipality.
I might have missed it, James. Could you give me a breakdown of the $62,999 that is the total for the Lee County Museum?
The $62,999, that includes Rose's salary, her benefits, utilities, building maintenance, and then $20,000 of that is actually just for the professional services. And we make quarterly payments.
Okay, very good.
Utilities, some utilities and supplies as well.
All right, very good. Any questions, commissioners? Any discussion?
Yeah, I think I had a question.
Go right ahead, sir.
That 20,000 was for who?
That is just for professional services provided by the Lee County Museum.
Like, who would be the professional?
Jim Harris, I would imagine, is the curator.
Anybody else? All right, very good. All right.
Thank you, James.
Yes, appreciate that, James. We'll go on to a discussion of the 2018 through 2022 ICIP. James?
Mayor and Commissioners, it's getting to be that time of year where we need to review and update our infrastructure capital improvement program. What this does is it identifies projects, prioritizes them by fiscal year. And of course, the top 5 are the projects that we submit to the Department of Finance, Local Government Division for submission to our legislative delegates for potential capital outlay funding. This was what it looked like back last year when we adopted this. We will have this back to the commission for a final vote towards the beginning of September. But some of the projects that we have, of course, we have our commercial street. We'll be discussing a portion of that today, or tonight later on in the meeting. But we did receive funding from these. Our goal is to have at least 1 or 2 town hall type formats to where we invite the public to bring us ideas of what they want. There is a lot of detail. This list is going to be getting substantially longer because of our street improvement program that we're going to be doing. We actually have finished that assessment. Ms. Pettigrew is going to be entering all the information into the ICIP software to where we can actually prioritize those, and it will be broken down into complete reconstruction to just a simple overlay. It's broken down actually by each block. So we'll actually have a pretty lengthy and substantial list to add to this by the time we get to vote, but we'll be visiting with our department heads as well for any additional projects they may have. So just because it's like the 2021, I had ranked #1 rebuild lift stations 3 and 5, that does not necessarily mean that it's going to occur in 2021. It may have to be pushed to the next year because you can see some of these projects are quite substantial.
You had a question? Okay. I thought you were cleaning yourself. Anybody else have
No,
a question?
other than that, James, I'd like to also, if you don't mind, letting us know what your top 5 recommendations are as well.
Yes, sir.
All right, very good. Thank you, James. We'll go on to public comment. Anybody wishing to speak now before the commission is welcome to do so. If you'll limit your discussion to about 3 minutes after you identify yourself, you can have the floor. Yes, sir. Step up. If you would just identify yourself.
Yeah, Andres Salcido, for those that know me, I go by Drew. I've submitted my information for a position on the Parks and Recreation Board and just wanted to put a face to a name. My interest is, I've always been involved in the community as a kid and now as a proud husband and father. And over the past couple of years, and as you could see now, there are plans to move in a positive direction in the community, and I'd like to be involved in that, and to be considered for a position on the board would be a privilege. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Was that a yes, Wyatt? No? Okay. Yes, ma'am. Let's meet him.
Mayor Campus and Commissioners, I want to thank all of you for your participation in our cleanup on April the 30th. As you know, we went out as the new Keep Lovington Beautiful, and also the old campaign that was always with Lovington was a cleanup day. We did that on April the 30th. Well, we decided to make a little fun out of it and put the commissioners responsible for helping us clean up their areas. And we thought it'd add a little fun to it. Well, it did. We had all of our commissioners out. Well, Mr. Gandy, he had to work that day, so he had his wife come out, and she recruited a great group of people to help her out. And so we collected, as a community, we collected 4,000 pounds of litter. And Commissioner Gandy you are the proud winner of this award.
I don't know how I can get awarded, I didn't call.
Well, your wife, you can give it to your wife. You,
She earned it.
She earned it.
you collected 780 pounds out of the 4,000 that was collected. And we want to thank all of you for that, and I especially want to thank Laura and Crystal for really putting the thing together. They worked really hard on getting the city and everybody involved, but I do want to thank you.
Well, I'm scared because does that mean that my district's
And
That was
this
just from his
travels.
house.
So the
Oh, it's a traveling cup.
Right, right.
Oh, here, turn this way, turn this way.
And so we will probably be having another cleanup here shortly. We'd like to do one in the fall. So we would like for all of you guys to consider how you can do better. Huh? Oh, okay, dust it, okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You want me to hold on to this?
Congratulations on that.
Very good.
We're gonna take it next.
That's right.
Next time?
Thank you, Ms. Villegas. All right. Anybody else up for public comment at this time? Yes, sir.
Just very quickly, I want to introduce myself. I'm Russ Doss. I'm senior engineer with Souter Miller. We're the third largest engineering firm in the state, and we opened up an office in Hobbs about a year and a half ago. I haven't been up here to say hi to you guys, but I wanted to say hi this evening and just tell you how much I enjoy working with your staff. We're working on the Commercial Street project for you guys right now. It's almost completed, and we just wanted to say hi and thank you for your business.
Thank you, Mr. Doss. Appreciate you. All right. Anybody else? All right, I see no takers. All right, we'll go into action items. I'll entertain a motion.
Let's make a motion to consider resolution 2016-59, disposal and transfer of surplus equipment to the Southeastern New Mexico Law Enforcement Academy.
Second it.
And we have a second. James.
Mayor and Commissioners, we have completed the radio upgrades over the police department. Southeastern New Mexico Law Enforcement Academy can actually utilize those radios for officer and dispatcher training. So we would need to, since this is a capital asset, we'll be disposing but transferring that equipment over to the junior college.
All right, very good. Any questions, discussion?
Yeah, what kind of equipment is this?
Handheld radios and
Huh?
chargers. Our old handheld radios and the base chargers for them.
And this has been approved through the state auditor's office, is that correct? James, or will
Yes,
we-
this actually complies with procurement code.
Okay, all right, very good. All right. Thank you. All right. All in favor of this resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution carries. I'll entertain another motion.
I'd like to make a motion to consider resolution 2016-60, approval of advertise of an ordinance amending chapter 2.20, city clerk and treasurer, and creating chapter 2.25, treasurer for the city of Lovington Municipal Code.
Second.
We have a second. James?
Mayor and Commissioners, this particular ordinance will actually authorize Gary to act in his role as finance director. We really,
Wait a minute.
well, this came about, of course, prior to Gary and actually Michelle Stevens, our former finance director. We had not had that position in decades ago. The position of treasurer and city clerk were combined, which that's allowable by state code. Now that we actually have Gary, we have our financial software we're transitioning to. He needs to have the ability to make these decisions and also have control over the municipal funds. So what this is doing is removing the treasurer duties from the city clerk and creating a new chapter which identifies Gary as the treasurer and finance director.
Nice.
Any issues with that, Gary?
I've been making friends.
Okay, very good.
So he's the one that's gonna pay us.
Any discussion? All right. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, I'll entertain another motion.
I'd like to make a motion to consider resolution 2016-61, 2015, 2016 final quarter financial report.
I second.
We have a second. James?
This is actually Gary's.
Go ahead, Gary.
By Mayor and Commissioner, this is standard procedure for the state of New Mexico that we need to have first, every quarter we submit a financial report. This is the fourth one for our last fiscal year, and it's required for us to present it to you for your approval prior to submitting it to them. A couple of things I'd like to note, though, is if you move down to the first page, it's the summary page, and it basically shows the status of our funds for this fiscal year. And while this doesn't give the clear picture, so far our general fund, based on this report, is doing much better than we were projecting. Part of the reason, though, is we didn't pay $400,000 to the county yet. However, even if we were to include that, we're still a couple $100,000 to the good beyond what we had projected. I'm very thankful for the work because this really has to do with reduction in expenditures. A lot of people here in the city working really hard to stay within their budgets and to not get us into the red and to avoid using cash reserves if we can.
All right, very good. I, for one, am very, very thankful for your stewardship of the city money, so I applaud your effort here. Thank you very much. All right. Any discussion, Commissioners? All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I'll entertain another motion.
I make a motion we consider resolution 216-63, Senate COG annual membership.
Did we skip one?
Yes.
Okay. Just go back up one.
Did I skip one again?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Should be
let
at
me,
62.
I consider resolution 216, 62, 215, and 216 final budget adjustments.
Second.
We have a second. Gary, again?
Yes, your Mayor and Commission, again, this is another, if I understand, it's part of our ordinance, although I haven't found where it is in our ordinance, but that it is also a requirement per the state that we show no expenditures that exceed our budget. So it's what you're looking at here are just basic totals by fund, and then a bunch of detail of how I got those totals. On the first sheet, it's the resolution sheet that gives us the information. Everywhere where you see a little red number, that's where we reduced the budget. And where you see the black numbers in the adjustment column, that's where we increased the budget. And I'm thankful to say that in the expenditure line, that's where we reduced the budget by $291,000. That was where we're looking good there with our general fund.
So I noticed that we have a reduction in the DWI program. Is that correct? Gary?
Well, it's not really a DWI program as much as it's a, let me see. We do have a grant from the, which one is it? Which fund are you looking at? 211?
223.
Oh, 223, okay. Yeah, 223 is, let me look at the numbers here. I recognize it by the numbers. I actually don't see a fund 223 in here.
It's in the, it's probably the last page.
Oh, all the detail.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a fund that we really don't use, the Fund 223, and so that's why I reduced it by that amount. And that's, you're looking at the pages with all the yellow lines on,
No,
lines across?
it's the last page, and it's highlighted in red. The budgeted transfer of $560,044. It's the very last page. In this adjustment.
The 560,000 adjustment on that, and the reason that's a negative is because and that has nothing to do with the 560,000 transfer we made is from our salt water fund, where we're collecting money on that. And while that number looks bigger, it's because we received more revenues, and we closed out that fund, and we've stopped using it and gave that money to the general fund. And now the general fund is receiving those payments on an annual basis that we were getting.
Should it go in that specific line item?
Well, I know what the dollar amount is, but I'm not seeing the detail on this, on the report.
Okay. No worries. I was just curious. Any other questions, Commissioners?
Yeah, it does say DWI program next to it. And yes, that is because it was the salt water fund, and the salt water fund is per the state's forms that they gave me to fill out, they put that money in the wrong place on that. That's why it says DWI.
Okay.
And I tried to fix that earlier in the fiscal year, and they never did fix it yet.
Okay. I just didn't want to take anything away from that program because I think it's important in this area. Appreciate that.
But I'm glad you asked that, because this, now that I see it on this particular page, it is because of a man, they gave me some spreadsheets, that's what you have a copy of here, and they have their own little links in them, and they didn't fix this, even though I brought it to their attention.
Okay. That sounds like a lot of money to take away from the program,
Yeah, it is.
especially that one. All right, thank you, Gary. Any other discussion? Commissioners? All right, very good. All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I'll entertain another motion.
I'd like to make a motion to consider resolution 2016-63, Southeastern New Mexico Economic Development District of City Government, annual membership.
Second motion.
We have a second. James?
Mayor Commissioners, this is our annual agreement with the Southeastern New Mexico Economic Development District Council of Governments. This is a budgeted expenditure. They provide lobbying services. They also help us out with capital outlay funding annually of the San Fe for us.
All right, very good. Any discussion?
How
Yes,
much is that membership that we pay?
$3,303 annually.
Okay.
All sounds correct, I don't remember exactly.
Oh,
It's on there.
Oh, okay.
That's part of the resolution,
Yeah.
or the agreement. All right, very good. Anything else, Commissioners? All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I'll entertain another motion.
Make a motion, we consider resolution 2016-64, certification of inventory as of June 30th, 2016.
Second that.
We have a second. James or Gary?
If I may, your mayor and commission,
You may.
this is just a requirement for our auditors. They want us to have you as our commission to certify that our inventory is what we stated it as at the end of the fiscal year. And so I have the list of everybody's inventory of June 30th on all the pages following this. So really, this is just more of a formality to make the auditors happy. Oh, I'm sorry, formality to comply with good reporting.
Freudian slip, huh?
Yeah.
True feelings come out on that one.
Was this a finding recently within the last few years by any chance that you know of, Gary?
It was a finding not in the last two, no, it was a finding not last fiscal year, but the fiscal year before.
Okay. So we cleared that up and we continue to comply, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Any other questions, discussion? No? All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. I'll entertain another motion.
I'd like to make a motion, or resolution 2016-65, Commercial Street Project Change Order.
I'll second that.
We have a second. James?
Mayor and Commissioners, we were contacted, actually Commissioner Trio and Mayor Campos were contacted by the residents on commercial, almost, well, actually on the southern end of the commercial street reconstruction. The intersection is Central and Commercial, about the width of the drive pads that were supplied to them. If you look at the historical photo, this is actually looking to the southeast on Commercial at that intersection of Central and Commercial. You can see where there was no drainage culverts in that particular area. After the rework, this is essentially what we have provided to each one of those residences, which on average, I guess you would say is about 15 to 16 foot drive pad for access. It's paved. One of their concerns that they had was now there is actually a drainage culvert there, which it does limit, I guess you would say, parking within that city right of way. The actual city right of way is very wide in this particular project. If you just, for boundaries, right where the fence line is in this particular picture, that would be one end, the western edge of the city right of way. And where the curb stops are over here on the fairgrounds parking lot, that's roughly where the eastern border of that street is. I mean, we could technically build that out. So all of the construction and improvements have been performed within the city right of way. Whenever you look at, looking to the north on Commercial, there was no drainage in this particular area, and a lot of water comes off of Central and also Washington. Now you actually have, wow, this is sensitive. Now you actually have a drainage culvert. This is a wider drive pad because this is an actual church that we have. Whenever you move further north, you actually see the culvert. We actually have drive pads. However, the culvert is not as extreme in this particular area because a lot of water is being not only moved this direction, but at the intersection of Van Buren and Commercial, a lot of water is being forced, or actually following the natural flows underneath Commercial and down, you really can't see in this photo, to the east off of Van Buren within an easement that was granted. So after meeting with the property owners and discussing their concerns, we asked Sauter Miller and Mr. Doss to come up with some solutions for us. There's two solutions for these particular residents here. Option one would mean increasing the width of those drive pad access to at least 24 feet, which is about the width of a two-car driveway. Option two is actually filling in the entire culvert with pipe and fill material to the tune of $21,000. And that is what we're asking in this resolution is either option one, option two, or do not proceed with the improvement. This would be an additional change order. A little bit more on that project. We did have another change order to extend the deadline because there was rain delays, and also there was a lot of excavation through rock that they did not charge us. It was extra work they didn't charge us for. The project will actually be complete by August 4th. This particular work, if approved by commission, would not take place until after Fair and Rodeo.
So when you're talking about filling it in with till, is that just putting gratings over it? Is that what you're saying? When you say-
To actually fill it in, you would extend the galvanized culverts
Okay,
underneath, and then it would be filled in with just rock. You wouldn't be paved over.
because that would, it would be a good suggestion, I guess, where you see those metal iron gratings above, and it would still be drainage, and you wouldn't have to extend the pipe, Like,
I think
or what do you, I'll turn it over to
that's
the
the engineer.
expert there.
Yes, what we're looking at is basically if you extend the pipe from the bottom and backfill those, it would almost be like it was before. Just a cliche right away where they can park wherever they want. Like I said, the other option is, like I say, just do a wider driveway, and you'd still have that area where, you know, if somebody wasn't paying attention, they could fall in the pit. As far as putting anything else over the channel other than just covering them up, I don't know if that would be a feasible solution. As far as
I've just kind of seen that in other places that I've been where, you know, they do have the drainage, but you do have that optional when you're driving, you know, or like I say, the additional grading is over there, but the drain ditches are still there available. The water's still gonna run in there.
Are you talking about, you're just talking about steel grates across there?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
We actually didn't look at that, it's probably for cost-effective purposes. If you'd like us to go back and see if we can do that, I think it would be quite a bit more money to do that, but that's something we can certainly look at.
I don't think we really need to look at it. It's probably not in our budget anyway at this time, you know, and I do know that. But, you know, that is something for future reference that we might think about as a city, you know. It would prevent, it would make everybody happy. You could still drive on that. The water would still drain through there.
It would, with the either alternative that you're looking at right now, there would still be an opening right there against Washington Street for the water to come in off of Washington.
Thank you, sir.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
On this, you know, I got a call some call back by Pastor Avila from the church there, Church of God. Would that take care of his problem? Is it already fixed, or, you know, he was complaining about the water there, or the big old dip there because of, he couldn't park because of people at the church to park?
Commissioner Sanchez, they actually have more than adequate access to their property off of Commercial Street as well as off of Central. So that was not considered, given that would be a substantial change order as well.
So James, let me ask you this. Do we have the funds, let's say for option number 1, to fulfill that option?
We do. This of course does deplete the amount of available cash in that fund for any other projects that we may have that comes up. But we do have the money at least for option 1.
What fund is that specifically?
The capital improvement fund, this project's 100% of it's paid for.
All right.
Through the 3As.
So just to be clear, that was not coming out of our general fund, correct? All right, very good.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
go ahead.
Isn't this the same basic setup that we have on 17?
Yes, sir, very similar. Between the stretch of it would be Jackson to Colonial.
Basically, the only difference is their houses are a lot closer to the front.
Yes, sir, these lot layouts, the houses are closer to the road and lot right away.
I would just like to recommend that if Commissioner Gandy amend his motion and to include option 1.
I don't have a real problem with it. So with option 1, basically what are we doing with that?
Option 1 would widen these 5 drive
Where
paths
they'd have 2 cars intersecting. Right
to
now,
at least 24 feet each.
right now, they can only park 1 vehicle. This way they have where they can park 2 vehicles.
Yeah, most of the time we try to park forward. So, I'll like to make an amendment to my motion to add option.
Okay.
We've got someone that wants to ask a question over there.
I was just gonna add to it. On option 1, we looked at it's gonna extend each culvert, each section of culvert out 12 foot. And then it's gonna have, that's in each driveway going down on the 6 driveways. So they're gonna range from anywhere from 24 to 30 foot of pad space. As James mentioned, that we are not gonna go back and asphalt that additional 12 foot, we are just gonna cover it up with 6 inches of top base
Okay,
and just have a spot for them to additionally park off to the side.
very good. All right. James, you think that would alleviate their concerns
Yes, sir.
with option one?
I believe it would. Given the financial situation, it would be, I guess it's 40 years of habit.
Mhm.
And this is a positive change, but I believe by extending those drive paths, that would alleviate a lot of their concerns. So that would be my recommendation.
All right, very good. Yes, sir. Do you have a question?
I guess my question would be for Mr. Doss, because I'm familiar with the area. That's my grandmother's house right there. So I go by there regularly. That last downpour that we had, right in this area, in these areas right here, you have washout. And that's just with one rain, so. I mean, that's something to consider to do long-term. If you go with option one, I mean, you're still gonna have that washout issue. Just something to consider.
Yeah, and I think at that time it wasn't engineered properly. I think right now it's engineered to where it does have the decline where the water will move south. And I think at that time, he didn't have that. It wasn't even graded. Yeah, it wasn't graded at the time. I'm hoping we're yet to test it, but here in August, I guess we'll test and find out if it's gonna grade.
Parade, when we had the parade.
Yeah. So I guess we'll find out.
Mr. Dawson, would you care to speak to that?
We did have some washouts down the road. Part of it, we looked at the area wasn't properly compacted. It was very loose. We made that last time. So we washed out some of those areas. So I believe that the contractor has gone back and recompacted some of those areas. And with time, you will also have some a little bit of vegetation growth in there that will hold those banks better.
That will be alleviated if we go with option one or option two, correct?
With option two, like I said, that then just becomes a flat area, in there,
Right.
so there are no more channels for
Right.
any erosion to happen like that. It
Okay.
just would be flowing underneath.
All right, so we have a motion for this resolution with option one. Do we have a second?
Re-amended, I guess.
An amendment? Yes.
I'll second that, because I made sense to that, and we amend that.
Are we clear on that, Patrick? All right, very good. All right, so we have a motion to adopt this resolution with option one, with an amendment to adopt option one. We have a second. So we'll take a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Resolution carries. All right, I'll accept the motion.
Make a motion to consider resolution 2016-66, temporary closure of Love Street between Central and Washington and Central Avenue between Main and Love Street, September 17th, 2016.
Second?
We have a second, James.
Mayor and Commissioners, this is become an annual event, Praise Fest. This year, September 17th, they're requesting the closure of Love Street from Washington to Central, and they also request a complete closure of Central from Main Street to Love Street. However, we're recommending that we only close Central from the parking lot to Love Street as well to accommodate that event.
All right. Any other discussion? Everybody good? All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I'll entertain another motion.
I'd like to make a motion to consider awards of RFP 2016. 2016 CP2 Washington Street Improvements Engineering Services Federal Funding.
Second.
We have a second, James.
Yes, Mayor and Commissioners, we went out for RFP for the design services for this project we also call Central Plaza Phase 2. This would be for ADA improvements, bicycle and pedestrian improvements, and landscaping for Washington Street from Main to Love Street. We received 3 responses. The Larkin Group received a rating of 160. Pettigrew and Associates, 163.75, Souter Miller and Associates at 163 even. We did send this to our, to NMDOT, and they also recommend, based on scoring, to award the RFP to Pettigrew and Associates. This project already has $58,954 from a federal transportation alternative funding grant. We did receive $20,000 in capital outlay funds, and our local match right now is $10,000 or anything that exceeds those costs.
All right, very good. Thank you, James. Any other questions, discussion by commission? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Resolution carries. I'll entertain another motion.
I make a motion we consider Parks and Recreation Board appointment.
I think we missed another one.
I skipped another one?
Commissioner, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Raise your glasses just a little bit.
Okay, I'll do the one just prior to that, then I'll
Okay.
make a motion for consideration of RFP 216, MUT multiple use, trail engineering services, federal funding.
Very good. We have a second.
Second.
We have a second, James.
Mayor, Commissioners, this was for the design of the multi-use trail that would connect Chaparral Park with the downtown area. 3 responses were received. Larkin Group, 159 points, Pettigrew and Associates, 161.75, Souter Miller at 161.25. And DOT's reviewed this as well, and they also are recommending Pettigrew and Associates be awarded this project. Right now, this is totally funded through our Rails and Trails federal program. For this particular year, there's a federal grant of over $140,000 with a local match of $23,900. The federal fiscal year 2017 match is $327,000 with a local match of $55,700. So they're about 50% of the estimated cost of this project already funded. But this would allow for the design to get engineers' estimates on those improvements.
Very good. Thank you. Any other questions, discussion by commission? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, I'll consider another motion.
I'll consider the motion for Parks and Recreation Board appointment.
I'll second that.
We have a second. James.
Mayor and Commissioners, first of all, this is a position to replace Clint Warren. He apologized for not being here tonight, but did want to thank you all for the opportunity to be able to serve on that board. He's enjoyed it and wants to still continue to help in any way as far as serving the city. We've received interest from 3 different parties. We have Tabitha Lawson, Andres Salcido, and we also have Brian Cooper, who have all expressed interest in this particular position, which requires you to be a resident of the city of Lovington.
Is Mr. Cooper here by any chance?
No, sir, he actually texted me. He is coaching a soccer tournament.
Okay, very good. And all 3 are residents of the city, is that
Yes.
correct, James? All right.
I'd like to make a motion that we set Andrew as part of that board. My recommendation. Andrew Salcido. I'm sorry, I just didn't say the whole name.
I'll
So you-
second it.
So you're amending the motion? Who made the first motion? Okay, so you
No,
can
I'm
amend.
sorry. I'm sorry, Mayor. It was actually Commissioner Sanchez.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
okay. All right, so would you like to amend the motion? Commissioner Sanchez? Would you state your amendment?
To Mr. Salcido?
You would like to amend your
Andrew
motion to
Salcido.
accept Mr. Salcido as
Yes.
the member for the board appointment for the Parks and Rec, is that correct? You made the second, is that correct? Okay.
No, Arthur Riggs.
Mark made the motion.
I made the motion.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So he needs to
Okay,
make
I
the
second.
amendment, is that correct?
No.
Commissioner Sanchez made the original.
Okay, okay. So we have a second to that amendment, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, very good. We have a second. Are we okay? Okay.
You want to just start over?
Who's on first? Who's on first? All right. Okay. All in favor of accepting the motion as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. I'll entertain another motion.
Make a motion, we consider accounts payable.
I'll second.
We have a second. Gary?
Mayor, and Commissioners, this particular check run, our largest expenditure was for insurance, New Mexico Self-Insurance Fund. It was only $50,917. Beyond that, I don't have anything really to share. Hopefully, well, I am expecting each of you have received the email that was sent out giving you the unusual items. So if you have any questions, here to answer them for you.
Okay. Okay.
Gary's got it under control, yeah.
Mr. Sanchez, are you good to go?
Computer conked out.
Gary, you're more than welcome.
That's okay.
You should.
Would you care to-
I say we pay the bills. Okay, submit.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. All right, motion carries. All right. I'll entertain another motion to go into closed session.
I make a motion, we go into closed session pursuant to section 10-15-1 NMSA 1978, subsection H-7 regarding threatening or pending litigations, Chaparral Park, splash pad, and landscape.
I'll second it.
We have a second. Roll call.
Yes.
Commissioner Butcher,
Yes.
Mayor Combo,
Yes,
Commissioner Trio,
Yes.
Commissioner Gandy.
Yes.
we will now go into closed session. Thank you, guys.
Matters discussed in closed session were limited only to those specified in the motion for closure. No action was taken.
Second.
We have a second roll call, James?
Commissioner Sanchez,
Aye.
Commissioner Butcher,
Yes.
Mayor Campos,
Yes.
Commissioner Trio,
Yes, Carolyn.
Commissioner Gann.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Motion carries. Without any further discussion, we call this meeting adjourned.